Ever stop and think about that soft powder, the one in so many everyday things, like your blush or maybe baby powder? It feels so common. But behind that simple feel, there's actually this, well, surprisingly complex global market. Today, that's what we're diving into, the global cosmetic grade talc powder market. It's not just filler, right? It's vital for beauty, personal care products. People love it because it's soft, it absorbs moisture.
And it gives that smooth application. That's key.
Yeah, exactly. So our mission today, unpack the money side, the economic value, and look at where it's growing, the surprising growth across the world.
And really, it's those qualities you mentioned, that silky feel, absorbing moisture well,
Mhm.
making things apply smoothly, that make it so, so crucial for cosmetics. It genuinely makes the products perform better, feel better for the user, which is why, I mean, even with changing tastes, the demand is still really strong.
Okay. And to help us explore all this, we're using insights from the Global Cosmetic Talc Market Outlook report. So let's kick off with the big picture. Because this isn't some tiny market. Back in 2021, it was already worth, what, $1.16 billion globally?
Yeah, and what's really interesting is it's not just sitting there, it's growing. The projection is it'll climb to nearly $2 billion by 2033, $1.98 billion to be exact. That's a compound annual growth rate, the CAGR, of 4.55%, which, for what seems like a basic ingredient, that's pretty steady, significant growth over the next decade or so.
Okay, 4.55%. That's solid. So what's behind that? What's really pushing this consistent growth?
Well, if you connect the dots, there are a couple of main things. First, just, well, more people globally are buying cosmetics and skincare. That demand keeps rising. And that's especially true in emerging economies,
Yeah.
big driver there. And second, maybe a bit more surprising, is innovation, particularly in like the clean beauty space. Even with some past concerns people have had about talc, its performance is so unique that companies are still using it. But now there's this huge focus on purity, on safety standards. It's kind of a paradox, really.
Interesting. Okay, let's dig into that demand more. Regionally speaking,
Yeah.
where's the action? Where are the biggest shifts happening for cosmetic talc?
Asia Pacific. Hands down, that's the powerhouse. It's the fastest growing region by far. We're talking growth from about $421 million in 2021, projected to hit over $757 million in 2033.
Wow.
Yeah, that's a CAGR of 5.18%, really leading the pack.
And zooming in on Asia Pacific, China and India are the big players there, aren't they? China's got this like 5.69% CAGR.
Mm-hmm.
India's right behind at 5.66%. That's not just population, right? It points to huge production capacity meeting this surging domestic demand, like feedback loop.
Exactly. Large-scale production, big domestic markets, rising middle class, it all feeds into itself. But it's not just China and India. You've got Southeast Asia, Taiwan too. They're adding quite a bit to that growth. It's really driven by rising incomes, more money to spend, and just, well, more awareness and interest in beauty products across the board there. It's becoming more of a daily staple.
Okay, so from Asia's rapid growth, let's shift gears.
Hmm.
What about North America? Still a major player, I assume.
Oh, absolutely. A very substantial show. It's growing too, projected to go from around $323 million in 2021 to over $518 million by 2033.
Okay.
That's a CAGR of about 4.11%. The U.S. is the leader there, no surprise, given its huge manufacturing sector and, mature cosmetics industry.
Right.
But interestingly, Canada's actually growing a bit faster, about 4.48% CAGR. That seems linked to, niche beauty brands, a pretty dynamic market up there.
Huh.
And Mexico's showing healthy growth, too, around 4.27%. So solid demand across the continent.
All right, let's cross the Atlantic. Europe, how's it looking there? Also growing.
Yep, definitely expanding. It's projected to grow from about $256 million to nearly $420 million by 2033. That's a CAGR of 4.37%.
Okay.
Within Europe, Germany and the UK are really important markets. They drive a lot of demand, especially for high-quality talc that meets safety certifications. That reflects both picky consumers, maybe, and definitely stricter regulations about ingredient purity.
Makes sense. And I saw something interesting. The rest of Europe category is actually growing the fastest within Europe, like 5.41% CAGR.
That's right. It suggests that cosmetics manufacturing is really ramping up in some of the smaller or developing European markets. They're creating significant new demand.
Fascinating. Okay, how about South America?
South America is showing strong growth, too. Expected to basically double its market value by 2033, going from roughly $75 million to $150 million. That's a healthy CAGR of 4.72%.
And Brazil's leading that charge, I guess. Big
Yeah.
cosmetics industry there.
Exactly. Brazil's got a 4.91% CAGR, and Colombia is also doing well, about 4.88%, showing some real potential as an exporter, too.
Okay. Then there's the Middle East. Slower growth
A
there?
bit slower, yeah. Around 3.12% CAGR. Still growing, though, from about $55 million to $85 million. Saudi Arabia and the UAE are the main consumers there.
Got it. And finally, Africa.
Africa's expanding, too. Projected growth from around $28 million to $47 million, which is a 3.51% CAGR. Nigeria is doing slightly better than the average for the continent, around 3.71%.
Okay, wow. So quite the global picture.
Yeah, and if we, tie all these regional pieces back together, it really just confirms those main drivers we talked about earlier. You've got this ongoing global demand for cosmetics. You've got companies innovating, especially around safety and maybe eco-friendlier ideas. And you've got those emerging markets, particularly in Asia, just putting the pedal to the metal. It all adds up.
So let's bring it back to the listener. What does all this mean for you? You're standing in the store looking at a blush or a powder. How do these big global trends actually affect that choice, that product?
Yeah. Well, it means that what goes into that product, it's shaped by what consumers want in, say, Shanghai, just as much as Chicago. It's influenced by how fast factories can expand in Brazil or India.
Right.
And it's definitely affected by this constant push in the beauty industry to deliver on performance and meet safety expectations, which keep evolving. That talc in your compact, it's been on quite a journey shaped by all these global forces.
So summing up this deep dive then, the global cosmetic grade talc powder market isn't static at all. It's dynamic, it's growing steadily, really pushed by consumer trends, innovation, and especially that huge growth in emerging markets. It really shows how even basic seeming ingredients are part of these incredibly complex global networks.
Absolutely. And it kind of raises a bigger question, doesn't it?
Right.
How much more do we really need to understand about these hidden ingredients and the things we use every day? And maybe more importantly, the huge, often invisible global supply chains that actually get them into our hands.
That's a great point to end on. Definitely food for thought. Thank you for joining us on this deep dive today. We really hope it's given you maybe a new way to think about the fascinating unseen industry shaping our daily lives.